Abujafo mema wakwaba and we have a lot to learn. Me wish Kumasi Airport no ho nsema ba watiti bia na ye ka say ye de to na Ajiman Prempeh the first and be say they be infant to Yaa Asantewaa. Now be should name something say the history of a year Nana Ajiman Prempeh the first is related to a year Nana Yaa Asantewaa. Ejusoman hemaa, the two of them no omo ho abakwasɛm no kind of related. Quite be so. And ye wa see ye be bo ho nkomo ye be di ho nkomo na ye sua ade etino o join ya no wa share da bibia so e kama ya ba life ye be sua ade how the history of Nana Ajiman Prempeh the first reflect to oba panyini Yaa Asantewaa die nti na me relate to history no together and also die na ma Yaa Asantewaa as you did to mu say woni akwasi broni be kon in the year 1900. Was it just about the throne? Was it just about Sikegwaninti? Was it just about the insult of Eyakwesi Broni? No, eti anema Yaa Asantewaa eji tu muso beko in the year 1900 na edie be na si eti anema Yaa Asantewaa ekoka Nana Ajiman Prempeh Otumfuo eho ewo sɛychɛlles eno ho nkomo and ye wo ha no motime nka ma me hu se wotime nka wo comment section no as because I'm using a microphone, so I don't know so wotime nka ma me hu so ene ye ba be sua na o ma bebre ye be say the history I say from 1988. Abraya de Ajiman Prempeh the first isi ade as the king of Asante. At that time, now Asante wasn't just a nation; it was an empire of its own. At that time, that is the year 1988. And 1988, yeah, de Ajiman Prempeh the first ABC, so he was just 18 years of age, just 18 years of age. And you didn't see ideas, so and check cry. Ana akwesiboni town no edede ko pie mu ewo Sierra Leone okopie mu Sierra Leone no later anom de no ekopie mu ewo sɛychɛlles edin na ma wo mo town no free Sierra Leone edede ko pie mu Seychelles Island a okwo emma wo to the extent up to now adansidi ewo honom se asantefo asefo ni bi eda so ewo Seychelles 2015 Molly Prempeh Nana no mo mututumi edi na chi no don't forget say Nana Ajiman Prempeh kono he didn't go alone. He, in addition to other 49 people, including Nigerian and Ma. Nana Ajiman Prempeh yedine ko Seychelles no na ebusuafo be 49 and yere ne ma eka ho bi and that 49 na no mka Nana Ajiman Prempeh ho no asefo do baako a wo mu saa baako no nana no na sefo ni bi da so etiase a ebinum da so Seychelles Island ho no ma 2015 Princess Molly Ajiman Prempeh and I said Princess Molly Prempeh we are a princess for the Asante nation currently no with him kopie mu Seychelles so kopie mu no omucho no abakwasɛm kakra and so it was one of their greatest newspaper friend of 10 we call Seychelles so omo newspaper be 10 e wo hodo ma say 10 Seychelles waje di mpa na we nyina your reflection na me yeji tum sampa Asante ehine bi ye no de ne ko say Seychelles ukopie mu wo Cote d'Ivoire nso a ene omo wo ba bia say oma ye plug kama oma chọ Prempeh party eguso eche sampa Prempeh Otumfuo that time no yedi ni betwam wo ha ansa na yedi no call sɛychɛlles now me enter story na say Prempeh ebesi ade wa Asantema so no na over 18 years onya 26 years just a young guy 26 years of age ana ye time no edi ni konkwaso mu die me time no de ni konkwaso mu eno ana me ne wo ba be ka ho asemi in the year 1896 and akwesi boni ekopie mu that is 1 year before even 1896 na mama sa se firi in 1896 in the year 1895 and akwesi broni enso etimi ekopie mu Asantema mu okopie mu Asantema mu no ana wo ka kire ya Asantefo no se wo pese wo gi Asante asase no legally one official document say wa gi Asante ye ne dia obedi Asante so not no agu Asante ahinie say ahinie no na nya abedi ono ne pese ode ye ti nyansa wa how otimi nka so yes our comment section as because I'm using a microphone. The queen then time for the England was Queen Victoria for that time no the England assassin so Queen Victoria led with pennyfo as at that time no na Francis Scott yakasa Francis Scott na oye English British for no penny baako wono woti Gold Coast na de bia wo san timi bon ho moni ekopie mu Asante mu nsem hunu ana wo mo ye enti Francis Court being task by the Queen Victoria no e ka kire de say onkopie mu Asante mu no onkofa nkoto Asantefo nanim say say opese oje Asante wo say Asante na there is no kingdom of Asante wo bu Asante apre na Asante be kete na ye forget ye sika dwasem ne ade no na the Queen Victoria de fire Francis Scott anim no na mo say nsemi koto Asante anim na Asante man apre then time ye na ote so just young guy that time no 25 years of age prempe 25 years but this one nyina no tio all this one nyina no na Queen Victoria onim sa Asantehene a wo di ade that time was 25 years no onim she thought so, say oni opanyini bi na edili right but no onim say just a young guy 25 years of age anana woni ni di nkita ho won kratasem besi meji Asante besi me ma onje Asante besi meji Asante. So during the time of Prempe, the reason why we are talking about Prempe today is because of a Nkonwa air course say he deserved to be he deserved to be named Yedini to a year Kumasi International Airport. So it means to say he do not deserve see Yedini beto a Kumasi International Airport name of Yaa Asantewaa deserve or didn't say what you penny. Where ma Queen Victoria Crano Chile or abakwasɛm with England no enim guasie munti okotro ne say ohena na no ni deal no obuli ne chie no he was 40 years Emma Sansem we ni bie ba ye no amanfo ahu ne say bogus history ama England for ne to dead edi enti na nanim guase ana di enti ana okoka say Asante Prempre that time no 40 years ye bom ye di nkomo pa nya agro unti bibia se a fafa comment section as ye di nkomo ti na maba life na no pe edi ba sa no the England emra no person mo hihye ma Asante ande anto obogu ye se sema amonka de yemfa ya Asante ma ye ngu Asante sa Asante begu anya me prempepe so na Queen nso nani anje ho Queen Victoria ni anje ho sa Asante ato nani masem egusa enti wo ye nhyehyeye bi ema Asantefo no na sa nhyehyeye no ene se Nana Kofi Kakari Asantehene bi a watwam efe Nana Kofi Kakari nhyehyeye a wone ne hyehyeye no obekaya in the year 1873 omkwashi Kumasi in the year 1873 omkwashi Kumasi 1873 1874 the Sagranti War omkwose Kumasi hyehyeye honom no then time no hina no this one mask aba obekaya British for no maybe omde be se mask bi ka ho ne ade no saa wo hene no Nana Kofi Kakari wona saa mask no na gold mask na ne dia ono ne time no omkwashi Kumasi 21 years later and almost say ba be ka kire ohina no oti so aye prempe 21 years later oh Masi Kumasi just 21 years later na masa ba be ka kire ohina ono so so prempe say wan fa Asante amamo mo be hia Asante asemi ni was one pene ba sa no na se dane nkrata asem ni nkomodie prempe tubofo e ma mofo no ekopie mu ewo England ene kwene ni penifo di nkomo se nkansam no ye betimi aka no kukuwa mu na bibia de asomdua ba kwa foforo so a so the Queen say there be ompene the person oye wa Asante na no ana opese wo ye so in same way be ye nsem ana no de a na asese Asantefo ahemfo omotwa prempe ho ahia no de na ento wo mo aso inti ba asa no omotwa abo se de make an ebo omotwa ma Nana Kofi Kakari 50,000 ounces of gold sen kan Nana Kofi Kakari amekan no asem se guarantee water no ontua abro omudi Asante so in the year 1874 no prempe ni so metua se sika ni bi prempe so se de bi ntia se mo pese mo hye nsem wasan ne mra wasante memu na se me se mpene so a doesn't necessarily mean say me nana no mo ka bi anase sika bi a otwa ma omo ano mutia no me so me time me betua 50,000 ounces of gold so prempe na be say on tua 50,000 ounces of gold ne on tua ne china we ma Queen ni bufu ye ti Queen ni bufu ye no o take decisions bebre say e de obekire Asantefo ba na to cut that side of the story short no na Queen no decision a wa taking nyina no e woni team till say Queen is making another decision. Now that decision, no, you beka ho asem later. We and a man that is mean penema Queen in years, Queen years, no, and no and a man one more time a year in racing brofum penny for your friend Robert Powell's any Francis Scott. Umudi a year a don winning eco PMO Asante, equachi a year nanaji my prempre, say was one penny may in Jina Asante. Ne kingdom no me young Gunidano into Yaquachino. Yaquachi no, or brand wase, see a best Asante party. Onu my prempe the first and in here mfano ne mfanenko so wo hwe dom a mo ba ye se mo be se Kumasi Abraham se Kumasi no 21 years 22 years kra mai na masamba se mo ba betu ase so the strategy the British were using on the Asantes wasn't a tactical war according to war there was strategy I even say Russia and Ukraine according to the rules and regulations of war, you were and the British, after the first annual Asante War, the second annual Asante War, Asante 40D British war also boo pasano. After the who said they are going to use unlawful tactics against the people of Asante. This is no money Asante War bekumbianwa, and yet tactical. Asante phone any norm so no mako to us a woman so Asante phone any babamuso no much Asante man was ya na kumase man was ya or mobabe dimu wasem and also maybe and yamanasem. Eti ebasa no any nurse or him chrono I was say open the paper mua you can't fight whilst you are surrounded. It will be classified and an my premper say now were botty he wasn't a warrior you're the airport in Tuna. Hey bushnya this wasn't war. So what this year now we are 22 years cramai ya besi kumase mine na sraf war African allies Indian troops and of course Saye Francis Scott any opinion I friend Robert Baden-Powell one na okobua African kro bebriano said the omo ye no in the Segrenti war no omo sanko ye biem with the allies of some Ghanaian tribes they see Segrenti war no they wanted to do the same thing again during the era of Prempeh the First and Prempeh was like no and you want me na mo famine ko and one beautiful thing I love about Prempeh is say wan hwe na yire no ho fe nko Otumfuo de at that time oba papa be na wompe wasan man ni mo yi papa e bomgo ne nsa na no wonte and papa kodom ho fe o say debi I will sacrifice my family this little family me yire no me mbei I say Asante enkoso nya Asante and odi ne ho twa so see ade ne ko see obewu see onwu Prempeh the First didn't care about that. He sacrificed himself just for the betterness and the peace of Asante man and the time no e de ne kwa omde kan de ne ko sie mu osahwi baabi nanso Asantefo ye abodie bi a anaso mu ye nipekuo bi a wo mo nti asem wase anka ne nyina na Asantefo nti asem ase to mu ni ko pie mu osahwi no according to history no Asantefo no no manante aduro so mu hu se da bi enkofu ya hwe a obaba betam mo hene na abra ye ni de ho so ana mo fo aso e de ne call Sierra Leone ana mo de na na agyeman Prempeh the First ekopie mu Sierra Leone omde ne kopie mu Sierra Leone no e wo ti kiki na afi Asantefo na asase chichiri nkro etwa ho hia mu chichiri nkro etwa ba bia de Prempeh the First akọ no mo dawson so wo ho no mo Sierra Leone ene sa bia ye ntam no e do ne gidi ai de free Sierra Leone ye de kopie mu e wo se o se kura nsu etwa ho hia enti ene Asantefo beba ho am ya hwe enti no na emu aye de am Asantefo ne se afọ meko Seychelles Island ho akoye bibi se ombaji omura. Now according to this history that we are talking about same way nyina si ye no na enye ahreho sin the esi actually after they arrested your friend is saying Nana Prempeh the First into exile in the year 1896 tieni ba omkwoche no 1896 no that year no afebeto so ape 1897 na akwesi broni asa akobiem. And all this while, mind you, Yaa Asantewaa was there. Yaa Asantewaa was in the era of Prempeh the First. It may be can't some of the Yaa Asantewaa no what no baby say. The reason why people are comparing Yaa Asantewaa to Prempeh, saying Yaa Asantewaa deserve the airport. Yeah, one castle analysis. Now there are two air comment section. I say so. As this was going on, a year later after 1896, now kwesi broni asa kopie mu Asante game. Okoya di na obaya, di nti na obaya. Was afraid they seek the Golden Stool no pay. Hey, and the attempt to say, what an insult! What an insult! After taking our king into exile, now you need the Golden Stool. And listen to this very carefully. This meeting, how many Asantewaa have a no na Nana Yaa Asantewaa etiasi bi. Nana Yaa Asantewaa was the queen mother of Ejusoman, but she wasn't the king. There was a king. The king of Ejusoman was Yaa Asantewaa's brother. Onana would di Ejusoman, but Yaa Asantewaa, I say, bro, we need to learn history of Asante in our crèche and primary schools. Yes, we need to. Mauli Gabo, mehuminia wotewe ha, minia wotewe makwa. So now, as I'm continuing the history, we're talking about history. Yaa Asantewaa was the queen mother of Ejusoman, but not the king. There was a king. The king was Yaa Asantewaa's brother. But king na nche ano free mu to owu ye no ana Yaa Asantewaa di won na no use ni to me as a queen. And then nana wo don esi ahini ne so ewo Ejusoman ti ni nana wo don Though according to typical history, no, ni concern nana ne di dweso. So, but na Yaa Asantewaa don nana no. Said the men nana do men wa. Pepe. Ano this hand nana no. Ekosiso. She used, according to the scribes of history, yes, she used the power invested in her as a queen to eschew her grandson to be the king or the chief. Me de na akwasi broni kasa chief ne king no. Me mpesa be describe ye. Ye de na nananom nyina ye king. Otumfuo nye king. Otumfuo you overlord or ye the king of all these kings. Mamponhene or ye king. Or ye chief. Broni ntimi describe ye nananom. E wo kopie mu e wo togua fezi wa e wo eve. Enwunafo nkroma wo ye chief. Wo ye king. Wo kopie mu e wo ye ye friend say dagomma so a yana wo ye king. Wo ye chief. Oh, na sa chief, sa kings we no. Ana ye wo ba kwa constitution ni kredi no ho adanse say, we the king of all the kings. What you say na because of a certain document bia the politicians crying can ho asem a secret document. E didn't na constitution they recognize Asante nti ye ni chief for Ghana wo nyina kings and ye king of kings. Now, me ento history ni so. Na ye ni nkomo. So, Yaa Asantewaa ne nana a odi ni besi Ejusoman no. That era no, that was the same era of Prempeh the First. And when they were taking Prempeh into exile, omu teki nana Yaa Asantewaa wono so ne nana no a woye Ejusoman no, omu de ne fry tie nie omu che Ejusoman and Ejuso de enye se Yaa Asantewaa kwa na history dabi Ejusoman and oye Yaa Asantewaa nana too was also taken into exile. He was part of the 50 people, that is 50 people including nana Prempeh Otumfuo Prempeh the First no na Ejusoman so kan ho bi ana Ejusoman ye Yaa Asantewaa ne nana an ye tam ne fra Prempeh ane Prempeh ne yemu ma ene ne jerom an ye do mu kopie mu ewo sɛychɛlles island. So Yaa Asantewaa wasn't just thinking about protecting the throne. Imagine ne nana onono a na nkade die do this nko be mana be Ejusoman. So there was a pure love for that grandson. But upon all no, wantimi anka ho hwe because then time na Asante pese we bibi say, oh, mfie aduasa kora mai de be si Kumasi, nti yem pese ye be kona Kumasi asan be hye. So it wasn't that Prempeh was coward, but mfie aduasa bai eni bie so ba. Imagine this years, it was almost closer to the 20th century because here ka say ye bodate ni say a year 1896 na aka 4 years ni era 20th century mu in the 1900 mu. Nti na ni bie ba. Inti akwesi broni a advancing in terms of weaponry. The two any adade no tie no advancing no. Amankwati mu nyina they were also there. What I say, it was also so bantama hene there. Every Arabia we have amankwati a. Inti ono no there. Enye surprise say me kan ho asem ete say Ejusoman bebre nim say Ejusoman bi e che ne fry. What I say, amankwati ade obi anim say wo ye warrior kese a akon bia no wo ka ho bi bibia no a odi anim bi ono de wo pentokwa amankwati ade se nye ono ampokwa no a enye bantama hena na nkasa granting wo no kranka bia ensi because there were some letters according to history sir one farmer they were letters calling for peace one farmer something then time na Kofi Kakare na dey tokwa no by. So we are not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about the reason why nana Prempeh Otumfuo Prempeh the First and also Yaa Asantewaa one of them deserve to be named after the airport and hon komo and ye di no hasisia. So eba asa no na say a year later masa abasem be pesike dwa no sa de akọ. Now that year later na makacho say omochi Prempeh the First omo de ne kono na nana Yaa Asantewaa ne nana ka ho bi nana ne nana no na oye de na oye Ejusoman ti I don't know person summarize me twaso good eti omo ba a year later sa so mo say be pay the Golden Stool no na Yaa Asantewaa de hu ni say ye didi atem kese mabodam mababa be chi the king of Asante de na ko exile mu wie ye no kra no ma fo no nko mo de ne yire ne ma mo de me na me don no enso aka ho de ne ko exile mo say ba say sika dwano the Golden Stool no yemfa mamo. Yaa Asantewaa saw that as an insult. Eti akwesi broni that meeting no say ye bepene ye mpene no etwa to no a wo mko na jujuju na they had a meeting. The chiefs or the kings of Asante had a meeting. And in that meeting, the queen mother of Ejusoman Yaa Asantewaa was part of the meeting. And according to the meeting, no, ehona Yaa Asantewaa ka kire Asantefo ahemfo ne say, "Debi akwesi broni mu ye. Omuye, wa baba be chi ye hene Prempeh de akọ exile. What me amenana what ne yire ne ma what ahemfo aka ni bebira afrafra afi wa ba se ope the Golden Stool." This is an insult. Akwesi broni ntimi nka sa nse mi ntre nti no ho abufuo ana Yaa Asantewaa edi take order say hwan na be me yakon na mo de mu ya akukudufo ahemfo de bebre na omatedin omo so omo nkontokwa no Asantewaa was like and dem move fi na say 82 pence ana move fi na opoku awe odi kan so pence ana now say 82 pence de yenim say onu na ekodi dentrafo nso na poku awe nso ono so no ho abakwasɛm ne sɛ beti ho kakra bi ewie ya to aso die ntia ya Asantewaa bo na opoku awe odi kan di na opoku awe odi kan was the king who took over the throne of Asanteman after Ose 82 pence na say 82 pence. Now he was the one during his era yekonya ebono no ya hafo nsase no yebenya ka Asante ho and make sure odi ntia hafo eya Asantefo dia and up to now ahafo ahemfo no omo to atuada they still worship Sikadwa because of a certain history related to eyo Opoku na Opoku so na Opoku first and yekonya eya hafo but this history ne be brem later now ye chipi ato aso so Yaa Asantewaa ka kire ahemfo ne se na de mu ni kukuduro senke ye na say 2 pence ene na Opoku pence na nka omo ntena se e ma kwesi broni me kan kwase asim sei e kire ye wan na beko budi wan na beko so from that year 1896 1897 coming to a year 1900 the year the Yaa Asantewaa war I friend the war of the Golden Stool sa na kwesi broni friend the war of the Golden Stool Yaa Asantewaa war 1900 ni besi no it took Yaa Asantewaa just 3 years from a year 1897 and ode boaboa domano si ekokun akwesi broni tie. So he started mobilizing, youth who are willing to war, even if some of the kings do not want to fight. Some of them agreed, but youth no gather one more. So say 3 years in a year, secret job, underground job, digging youth who are willing to sacrifice their life for Asanteman. And truly, Nana Yaa Asantewaa was able to do something. She was able to gather enough youth to rise against the British. Don't forget at that time the British were having a fort in Kumasi, and that fort, and up to now, that's who Kumasi, man, that fort in here, more than that fort, Now, in the year 1900, Yaa Asantewaa mobilized the member of the Omuch and Tokwanasi free Kumasi wa. And a British in the fort, no, almost in Kumasi, no, team, Munkwasi asem no. Hey, Yaa Asantewaa bu to say the what ya ponchina wo chanetono. Or boom rofu pamu womuma womu na si gidi ene dwane ye enso free eye Kumasi ekọ so omkobo de hura kire de yesie yesu oba bi fe ne Yaa Asantewaa say woman no de adwen ne de enye obu a waboye they left some of the important things they were keeping even in Asante they ran without giving a note pa no omko no omko ka kire omumpanifo ne say hwe Asantefo na sa ka omhu and this war was led by a woman. That was a surprising thing. So when they went to announce, they said, "Oh baby," and any year corner. The British commander that time on the coastal area didn't want to believe it. So from the year 1900 and Tokwane twice so we see 1901. Because omoba na Yaa Asantewaa buomo Tokwane mu ye din na Yaa Asantewaa retreat ko ni krom or retreat ko back to Kumasi no asan ko boabo adoma no masamba. So the war was, back and forth. And it was a woman who was telling the British, somehow, but damn, you go this to no mobile. So this war kept on for 1 good year. Anything I asked Asantewaa what you kind of say, it was a war in the year 1900 to 1901. A woman was fighting the British. Now listen to this very carefully. While this war was going on, the British realized, so they came maximally. Say, you find say oba. It was here called kingdom. Giddy. So they came kingdom with allies. Says Africa, the countries in Africa, which and baby, no, I want scientific deal. Say the almost mobilizing security war best Asante Kumasi. San almost mobilizing during the time of Asante, almost mobilizing, including some young one war Ghana be seen there. Womuka Hubi, and now woman so fry the Indian troops, India for cry the India, they be a security war, no more can be Beku Asante. We so the Golden Throne war, no, so na and some can be bra na the British do mobile, but I think that they were using them as soldiers. It almost can home without some other African allies, the northern sector of the Nigeria and Sierra Leone, quite the normal form of Kwasiafobi. Sierra Leone, most of their troops, one and normal time move. So there were some other countries in Africa. Na Kwesi Boni time almost said, Uncle Fodi. It's common they are so they entered Kumasi and they captured Yaa Asantewaa and her troops, some of the chiefs that helped her to fight the British. And in the year 1901, the war, the war of the Golden Throne led by Yaa Asantewaa no ekwawie omo che Yaa Asantewaa na omo che Yaa Asantewaa no omo ni ko pie mu e wo the Seychelles Island one womo a womo kan ho ma womo ho ya akwasi boni ni nyina no. But don't forget, so all this time Yaa Asantewaa was fighting, she was fighting for the Golden Throne and also for her grandson who was the king of Ejusoman. So the grandson are matching on afe masa achi hene no afe mobile mo say before the Golden Throne. Three main reasons were the factors that led Nana Yaa Asantewaa to be like mumye machi me nana machi ye hene ne ma afe die toso me esa mo bepe tikedwa do ene mo ha bi nye correct. So Yaa Asantewaa fought the British in the year 1901 to 1900 to 1901. Now you didn't go PMO say the music culture no ante ana Yaa Asantewaa enso etimi efrimu ai ofrimu ya na ofrimu no so 3 years later pepepe and you dey Prempeh the first esan baba to Kumasi say omra no medi Asantefo no so ebiem. So this is what happened. Inti me ka wo say ma refi say Yaa Asantewaa ye didn't go PMO say no ante ano wuye na Yaa Asantewaa wuye no so ante kra ano muja Prempeh the first say omra muja Prempeh no that was on the 13th of September 1924 and omuja Prempeh say uncle back to Kumasi omuja no a obepie mu no na say ahenie no so woto so he had a beautiful plan for the people of Asante. Yeah, he had a beautiful plan for the people of Asante. So Yaa Asantewaa died in the year 1921 rather. Sorry. So it was 3 years interval. Owu ye no anche 3 years pepe and yeja Prempeh the first said uncle back to Kumasi. Oba he had a beautiful plan for the people of Asante. It's true the ideas and a University Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. If not Prempeh, na Kenya Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Why? Because no here na say any be ba into a person we see school kese ema the people of Asante. It was asese osi a college. Ebinum say it was a business school. Ebinum say it was a Canadian, but it was a college. Now a month for sure. It was large enough. Make me a cast at then time with you near K school to pass any beer. Prempeh idea was part of it. But Kwame Nkrumah by and say or be school in Bay and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I was a but it was Prempeh's idea, Prempeh the first idea. So Pesa Santamania school can see a sukupon kakrakapa. It will only lay in the foundation chart, say, see, they don't or plan or draw plans, baby. Now, or draw the plans, no, and or buy any 7 years, Pepe Pelu, to a woo, no, 1931, and a woo, 1931, a woo, no, and the Prempeh the second, the Prempeh the second year, you also buy 2 for Prempeh my second year, then buy and on Usubedi idea. Obedi idea, no, Santa Maya and Penamana, or Pibia. So, according to typical history, no, idea who is a Prempeh the trying to connect. We shall for me tiko kakra, but I'm back to complete the history. Omo that's what thank you very much. My life in tiko. Omo that's what thank you very much. Eti omo the works of Prempeh the second. Be as Prempeh the second. All the foundations, all the things Prempeh the second did. Most of them, 90% of the beautiful things Prempeh the second did. And when it was a foundation led or built by Prempeh the first. Now, I was or the Nayan and many now about for the Amasantamai. Well, we me, Ubetini, I have you know many. Fair, no, I can't tell you know, Massa, Asantamenti, Mamin got them now coming home, name him, ma. Will you do that? So Prempeh did that sacrifice, a big sacrifice. I intimin come once a moon, ye da. I was some. So him pong. That time the man to blame 26 years. Nanka 26 years, and idiot ben on to me. 26 years. No, Mujamuno, bet me a gin and me being Otumfuo that time Asante was an empire. Yeah, the Necras and Tiswatino. She said Otumfuo said to do a wood didn't hear the dead. Imagine that time I was an empire. Tidiana no power to me. Just 26 years of age. And Nidia Bia, bet me a gin, Nidia Bia, or person or Gino Vias. But upon everything, Prempeh the first was sacrificing a Mranti brim. Echo exile because of me and we send a Bia Santingo. And the winner bika. Semi Yaa Asanteni. Also a coward. Nankomi and Yaa Asante. Said a year and a granty one and I could fika carry peso. Nenki and Yaa Asante. Debbie, I say Debbie. For the sake of my people, ya suffer. Se granty war. Ya suffer, ya sick kumasi. Ya says yes, kumasi. Nah, go for about your crying. I can't the uncle teach night. Oh, my twice a yenso.
Yeni na hoso. Mo se me nkonto kwa. Ah, on hina wouldn't nim answer. So wo hwe me a. And now walk into his shoes. Will you fight in such a situation? I'm telling you, even British, Krampo, and Asante Womwa, they won't fight. Even Americans, and Russia, Sarane Womwa. A wise American leader will not tell Americans say, the Pana Sarane or assassins. What's the young one? When they the shape, my British nation says, almost some history ni bebre. But nimdeɛ ba ye no bebre nso a wo mo nananom ku bie te say Charles McCarthy na sefo tro history and also say Garnet Watson or also asefo ni bi tro histories ni bi gu ho and through these people my typical histories ni bi ko pie mu several universities in America and UK em ye hu truth ni say British one no mo ye fon no ni Asantefo na nkontokwa say they actually no book say they fought the Ashantes. No, it was unlawful, illegal war that didn't involve a legal tactics. They didn't follow the tactical rules of war. If not that, by now Asante would have been having an empire by now. And the same thing, and I know person the Emperor the first to say Chan Husiai, Nini Nan Jose Besikumasi. No sky, any Muntame and Famico. Would it Muntame and Famico? Nana Kofi Kakari pencil, the golden mask in the end of the arm. Also, on so much and who she has an was as a walk on, ever for men and impact them coco on Hangosi baby. Yes, see, Asantefone Mama. The more they fight, the more they multiply. Oh, my town, where's ya? Why are they? Wouldn't Yansa for the sake of inquire who Mukra that be no antino? Gum, never uncle. Because inquire woman named Mujamunity. Asante's road Muja, Asante a domus rodom. We could have fought. But it was like, don't. I say, Yaa Asantewaa, no, Esaji Nana Prempe was a visionary. He was like, no, I won't wait for that to happen. And what I say, I won't wait for that to happen. And my dear sister granted one in saying CPM. So what they made the mayor in my life a sacrifice. Na Mama Santama and so ending on. Or could demu for 24 good years. Or by no abakokra. When he came, he was around 50 years of age. A brand here where you jamono or what 20 something or what 26 years or by no 50 to 52 years or back or crap every answer and omodene buy. But was saying him rant minimum one jinani as a king at a youthful age or they acquired them because of new me or buy and so I go media communal and check 7 years later. Pepe passes 6 years and drumpo na yena na toy or toy and I prepare the second buy. But when the short term now be no more team and I'm so in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. It according to the history of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. It was first an initiation by Air Prempeh the first and a Trayan and Abed and Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And other factors are influencing say or deserve for the airport to be named after him. And he said only the first Asantehene, the first Otumfuo Asantehene, I will chap Ekoya was alive. Aye, the first. Ebinum twakoba betani achiri, but the first Asantehene I will chap Ekoye no sambaye abra otenkwam. Onguye was him. Inti near the airport no airport we nso nye local transit airport there ye wo bu ho dada je Kumasi airport. Aha we ye the ebetene mu akobrodi kuro mu twapo akwaba. Tie ne yenhwe na na wodi ne mu ja to ho for such a reason. That is Prempeh the first. Now, and I'm not Kwame Nkrumah University of Science crying no, and you need that's what Kwame Nkrumah University of Science because of that during your era and you into the answer. No, listen. In Gaza, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science. So, Prempeh the first dean that's why. Nanke Enyamawa. There is a Prempeh the first street to be where doom. Prempeh the first dean that street so streets a achievement. I want him pon kesi or then the man and nana no moja to wa mami no me no. Ye didn't to street. Enti yan wan say na he wo area bi am no ka say anti muni wa te kura ni din the street bi so oh gabe oh meso gabe ra na junction ne so gabe wura just because so ton gabe I know say it's good or serve the community but I'm trying to tell you they say gabe no awoton no obi abetimi aton bi but ni din the street so e wo honum say meso gabe ra na junction ho oh meso wo hwan street na nipa make say wo ton aduane or yes to but in the street be so uti ni din it me da hwa na abeda ni legal na din da hwa eye din a ye twere document mu a abeda ni area na wo no himpon se ni din da adum street be achievement. He deserves much more than this. Minim say no man kitin kitibu ho ani din so, but I'm telling you, Minya, he deserves much more than this. He deserves much more than this. It's mum yemfa airport no, mum penem yemfa to prepare the first na waye bi ama Asante. Ene unya kemi by life. This is what I've gathered and to serve you this morning. Say who history ni bika ho. I am glad to learn. Ubetimi, we na baby o ha man kan. Ubetimi dia boy ramedie mu. I say king, ahane hano ne was nka can see. Also can see. We stand to be corrected. Munya kinye, you be said in common on our next video. Medamase.
Munya kenye an bebreno ani medada ne won komo kituwa bi mu hia me pa saa na me hye so se ho be hia won so ensem tia wa bi pe ntima me wi a America kra bi de edi kan eda obi ase a waso ye king.ghana mu a waso me mu especially on a TikTok me adom wankasa onwane odonti yene na over 100,000 that is 10% of 1 million people even e bi say gusompo ana e follow yen ana mu di echi e wo ye TikTok saa wodo ye anso na mu yi kire me e wo ye Facebook na de me pese mu hunu ni aresede e ho won faso ene say afi ne be a YouTube account monopa the content wo mu kura ndiro ba bia afi ne de ba there are a lot of beautiful packages I dey break Ghana for ma mo ni media mo nim say de mesi emadwuma enu nti nsi me for mo ni gi video bia me de beba bia ho enu nti mesere wade ba ko pese ye ti abusua foforo wo hai YouTube hai ma re mfi say wo be subscribe channel we ama me an nim say de mesi emadwuma video ne sofo ma obi ani gi ho we ya abusua ku foforo a ye ti ne YouTube hai nti no channel ya abofra afi na wo nyini mesere wo say be ka me ho ne nyini ha de ne nso nka ho say de maboa and the TikTok. You win be almost 10% of over 1 million people they follow your TikTok. I'm an so a be me e Facebook. Subscribe channel we so mami. Emu de here ne say, "O subscribe you am I run fisa don't man that subscription in China. What the ones have a boss no what you so all. When say details and then the credit in Africa near the abremo. E be mu so ha into pay. Say that be our be kind. Now on saka video be am the baby enti. Let's ask you say, "O subscribe you am I run fisa. What the ones have a boss don't man that subscription in China. No what you so all no. Ye nyina busuya we brother be come when you we so enka ne ya dada no within the ken the catch content I dey be go YouTube ha no am dancing the munim dada no afi na afi ye bebe wrade mu odro ne ye sure so wonim se me de meye ma ko hwe no kra no afi tifini apiwe ni anafo abro odo am wo ma wonti mo nua ken ni subscribe bounce abo adoman so choose you all afi share video yi e mani padodo bebre na won so nya bi hwe ni se manu asi we de ken subscribe rather da e de won sa abo adoman so e choose you all no within the ken no e de kra e be se share on our next video
K1, oh boy, Ejuma, we did the Jacob. So now see commentary or social media, no style of blogging, fantastic. So now see commentary, no news in the bar. So now see commentary for home. We are so good. Keep on going.
And the Ostar also, the Ebema other tribe a flow. Uni sorted. India terminate. That's how becano. It's so painful. I know shit. I don't know say I'll commentary like or you as a presenter, sports presenter that they are. And we maybe a Ocus free debate. It's all good. Oh yeah, dear. Can one modern? Can one will try pa?
K1, oh boy, Ejuma, we did the Jacob. So now see commentary or social media, no style of blogging, fantastic. So now see commentary, no news in the bar. So now see commentary for home. We are so good. Keep on going.
And the Ostar also, the Ebema other tribe a flow. Uni sorted. India terminate. That's how becano. It's so painful. I know shit. I don't know say I'll commentary like or you as a presenter, sports presenter that they are. And we maybe a Ocus free debate. It's all good. Oh yeah, dear. Can one modern? Can one will try pa?
K1, oh boy, Ejuma, we did the Jacob. So now see commentary or social media, no style of blogging, fantastic. So now see commentary, no news in the bar. So now see commentary for home. We are so good. Keep on going.
And the Ostar also, the Ebema other tribe a flow. Uni sorted. India terminate. That's how becano. It's so painful. I know shit. I don't know say I'll commentary like or you as a presenter, sports presenter that they are. And we maybe a Ocus free debate. It's all good. Oh yeah, dear. Can one modern? Can one will try pa?